Right, so sorting out data and finding your measures of spread and your lower quartiles and upper quartiles. When you've just got a small number of things here, you want to make sure you don't make a silly mistake. It's just 2 marks here. It's easy if you take your time. So what I would do is I would go through all these results and I would cross them off one at a time, starting from the smallest, and write them all out again. Because they've told you the lower quartile, you can double check that you've done it in the right way if you work out the lower quartile to be 170 in the same way that you get your upper quartile. That'll come clearer what I mean by that in a moment. So I've got 169, the next one is the 171, and then the 175. Very often when I do this I end up missing one and come back and putting it in, but it's the only way to make sure that you definitely get them all is by crossing them out as you go. So then it's 210, then 243, then 250 and 258, 390 and 420. So we've got 12 results. So if you add 1 to 12 and divide it by 2, that would tell you where the median was between the 6th and 7th. If you divide by 4, that gives you 3.25. So that means we are between the 3rd and the 4th. And you don't go for a quarter of the way between it. You just go exactly halfway between those two. Now let's just check that works on here to get 170. So the 3rd is there, the 4th is there. Now the upper quartile is going to be the same distance sort of from the end up here. So I've got 2 results on the end. I'm going to have 2 results on the end, and then you've got those 2 in the middle. So I know it's going to be that. But also you can do it by 3, because that's 1 quarter, 3 quarters of that would be, what's that, 9.75. So that would mean between the 9th and 10th, and that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So we're looking at halfway between those two. So 250 plus 258 divided by 2 is obviously going to be 254. Make sure you put the units in there, because that would be an annoying way to lose one of your 2 marks. The second part, so doctors looking to see whether or not there are any outliers, and the outliers are looking at being 1.5 times the interquartile range bigger than the upper quartile is what that's saying. So that's the interquartile range. The lower quartile take the bigger, 1.5 times it and add it to Q3. So we've got our Q3. Q3 is another way of saying upper quartile. So Q3 is 254, and then you've got 1.5 times, and you've got your 254, take away Q1 is the lower quartile, which they told us is 170. So if you just whack that straight into your calculator exactly like that, you get 380 as being the number which tells you whether or not something's an outlier or not. These patients that have been smoking more than 1, he reckons by this, anything more than 380. And if you look on where we had these before, got 390 and 420. So it's just those 2. And that's that.